Which is cherry? Oh, this is cherry plum?
These are cherry plums.
Oh, I was wondering what's the name. I've seen them before. Всем привет, Оксана из Алабамы. Сегодня мы в гостях у друга нашей семьи. Его зовут мистер Лонг. I'm gonna teach you how to say hi in Russian. That would be привет.
Привет.
И мистер Лонг покажет нам свой дом и свой двор и расскажет немного о себе. My video.
So if you see right there where they're building the new
Gazebo.
fence, that was a tornado came here and tore down their whole back area, and it knocked down the tree here, which was a plum tree. And it did not damage the peach tree or our other cherry plum tree. But that's why we bought the lime, because we're going to replace the old plum tree with the lime tree.
Okay. The people were asking me, subscribers, did we have tornado? And I'm like, no, you know.
Yeah, we did.
So, значит, торнадо здесь проходило. Yes. I wonder how old is that tree? Смотрите, сколько персиков.
Well, Mr. Joe, who we bought the house from, said it was about 10 years old. That's an old peach. That's nasty.
I see you have... У него тут это... Очень много персиков валяется. So this is like a good size peaches, yes. Let's see. So wind knocked them down?
Yeah, well, they fall whenever they're ripe.
Okay.
They fall off. So what we try to do is we try to pick them before they go rotten on the tree. We try to pick them so that we can make different food from sliced peaches.
Okay.
And Melanie freezes a lot of the peaches, so we can use them all year.
Like, let's see.
Our yard goes from that, see the dark fence? It comes all the way down to that big tree on the corner of the lake, and then this way. We have 2 acres.
Okay.
For our property, it's 2 acres.
2 acres. Okay. Сейчас мы, видите, между ним и соседями нет забора. Let's go see your pool.
Ty, will you open up the gate, please?
Yep.
Thank you, Tyler.
They probably recognize Ty.
Yes, they call him future star because they've seen him many times in videos, as well as Napoleon. That's his brother.
And he's with Ivan and Dora and...
Yes. And Joseph.
And Joseph, yeah. We have Tanner cleaning the pool now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we can say that his house was purchased by a truck driver and his wife, who has a pet business, right?
Boarding.
Boarding. How long you been a truck driver?
For 5 years.
5 years?
I retired from the restaurant industry where I ran about 250 restaurants.
Man, so you were like manager?
I was a vice president.
Vice president. So you got sick of it, huh?
I had worked in the business for 25 years, so I decided to do something different. And I was a truck driver for 5 years, and now I run a truck terminal. Then we haul chemicals and tankers for 50 trucks.
So do you decide where they have to go? Is it how it works?
I work with customers and brokers in order to arrange pickup and delivery. An example is we use all 48 contingent states of the United States, and we go to Canada and Mexico as well.
Do you consider you work hard?
I work from about 5 a.m. until 6 p.m. 5 days a week, and then my phone and my computers always come home with me to work from home because trucking is a 24-hour business.
Okay, okay. How do you feel about your boarding business with pets? Is it hard on you?
The boarding business is very, very good because it allows Melanie to schedule things to still have time for the children and all the schoolwork that we need to have done. And it helps meet my schedule, being away from the house quite often.
How do you feel about coronavirus?
I think it's a hoax. I don't believe that it's an actual pandemic and emergency.
You can just heat that up and use it with ice cream or whipped cream.
Они сказали, что они сделали...
No, so she can...
Они сделали кусочек пирожка, и они мне с собой дают. Это называется персиковый коблер. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's going home with you.
Yeah, that's for you guys. Just take it and heat it, and either use put a little vanilla ice cream on it or some whipped cream.
Oh, okay,
Good.
okay.
Yummy.
Meow, meow, meow.
Hi, Patches.
Meow, meow, meow. Come here. Meow, meow, meow.
Patches.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow. Mr. Long, please tell us, what do you think about American politics towards other countries and the world?
Number one, I'm a conservative. So I'm more of a Republican stance in the United States than I am a Democratic stance on the liberal side. But I'm very much about being able to provide for myself without limitations and not sharing with other people what I earn, unless I choose to do that. As far as the United States and a political value in the world, I think there's been a lot of improvements. But I do feel that it had gotten out of control for years, and we needed to bring a lot of production and manufacturing back to the United States to be a more free enterprise and take care of our people first rather than outsourcing to other countries. I do believe in the world stage it's very important for places like the United States and Russia and China to have a say in what happens because we are the largest populations and the largest economic countries. I don't believe that we're always right, but I do believe that we provide opportunities for many other countries that don't have the same needs or production that we have. I believe that Putin can benefit from the United States as much as the United States can benefit from Russia. And I believe that both the United States and Russia need to use China as an example of taking advantage of both countries. We're more powerful economically with Russia and the United States than what China is, yet we let China dictate to us what we're going to do, and that should not be the case. Oksana and I were speaking about growing up in the United States during what the United States called the Cold War. And I can remember times of Leonid Brezhnev. And as a child, when Ronald Reagan became president, being happy that Reagan was the president because he would deal with Brezhnev and Andropov and Mikhail Gorbachev. And it was an interesting time because it was a nuclear competition, even though we were all seeking the same things for worldwide global domination. When the Soviet Union was together, communism was an enemy. We grew up not wanting to have anything communist. We wanted to have the free enterprise, and I never believed the United States is a democracy. I think we're a democratic republic. But then when Russia fell in 1989, I looked back at that point to a meeting that Gorbachev had with Ronald Reagan in 1986 in Iceland. And Gorbachev was in a position from the American point of view that their economy was failing because of the socialist state in Russia, and he was asking Reagan to negotiate with him, and Reagan famously looked at him and said, "Fuck you."
Really?
Directly to him in Reykjavik, Iceland. And that to me was a turning point. But when Russia fell, I lived in Los Angeles, and many of the Russian people there were very happy that the Communist Party had lost the power. But what I thought at the time was that was a very dangerous period of time, because now you had many cultures in Russia that were under the Soviet Union, such as Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan. It concerned me because now you had all these states, such as the Ukraine, that had nuclear weapons. So I felt that it was going to be more dangerous at that point. And there were some good leaders in Russia to get them through, but I think it was extremely hard on the people. Now I feel like Russia is the least of our enemies. I think that a greater enemy is the United States going towards socialism. That is people not wanting to work for what they're going to receive. And I think that if you had, like, grading in school, if you want everybody to be equal, then everybody's going to perform less than what their ability is. But if you want to provide for yourself and do better, then you're going to work harder. And I don't believe that my work should provide for someone else, which is what I believe the Soviet Union did, is it provided equal unless you were in politics for everyone. But during this COVID-19, I don't believe it to be anything other than a government-created test on how they could control the people. Saying that, it takes small rights away from us at a time where we don't realize that the rights are being taken away, when it's taken away a little bit at a time. No different than what Stalin did. He took small rights away. Hitler took small rights away. That's happening to us right now, and we can see that that hasn't worked in any country. It's a great idea. I believe that Marxism, Karl Marx, had a great idea in what utopia was, with creating everything equal. But I don't believe that it's attainable because people are greedy. And when you bring greed into effect of that, somebody's going to want to have a bigger house than the person next door. Somebody's going to want to live on this lake, and they might not be able to afford to do that. But if they don't have the means to work for what they want, and it's all going to be equal, it takes the enthusiasm out of working as hard as you could to provide for yourself. До свидания.
Thank you.